Good morning. So it's November 12th, and I'm going to show you how to pot up an amaryllis bulb. I already have a bunch of them going. It takes 6 to 10 weeks for you to actually start getting growth, sometimes, flowers. So if you plant now, you probably won't get it till after Christmas, but you'll have it for the winter. So I'm using a decorative pot, and you want to make sure that you have, I'm putting a pot in a pot, and you want to make sure that you have something with nice drainage. So this is going in here, okay? You don't want a pot that's too big. So this is a very big bulb. Amaryllis are done by centimeters, actually. This is a very big one. So you want something that's just going to fit your bulb. So let's get this potted up. This one is called Magical Touch, and I'll pop a picture on the screen for you. So let's get this in here. So we're going to put some, this is actually moist potting soil. Let me get that out of the way. So I'm just going to put some potting soil in the bottom, and let me angle the camera so you can see this better. Hang on. Okay, so let's get some potting soil in here. Actually, let me take it out of the decorative container so you can see it better. Okay, so I've got some soil in here. Now this is a very big bulb. Actually, I've got too much soil in here. We're gonna, roots down, growing tip up. We're gonna put this in the pot, get the roots down, growing down, and then we're just gonna fill in around it. But we're only going to fill in, we're gonna leave 1/3 of the bulb exposed. And this is for any kind of amaryllis. So very simple. You want to leave the top third of the bulb exposed. If your potting soil is dry, you can give this a little water when you do it. Okay? However, don't water it after that until it starts growing. Now, what we're going to do with this is really how simple this is. I mean, 1, 2, 3, and we're done. What we're going to do now is put it in a warm spot. Make sure you label it. And we're going to put it in a warm place until it starts to grow. And you'll see from the growing tip up here, it'll start to emerge. So because this soil is pretty dry, I'm actually not going to put any water in this right now. And I'm going to stick this in a warm spot. Doesn't need sun, it needs warmth to actually start coming up. So if you have a heat pad, a heat mat, you could, hang on, let me get myself back in the picture. Hang on. Okay. So if you have a heat mat, like for your seed starting, which I have like right behind me here, you could put it on a heat mat, and that will help it start growing a little bit quicker. Once it starts growing, then you can put it in the sun. Once it actually starts blooming, take it out of the sun, because otherwise the flowers will wilt pretty quickly. So I'm gonna, as these grow, I'll give you updates on what they're doing, what they look like. And then when they're completely finished, like as the blooms, these all usually have multiple blooms. So when the bloom stalk, or when the flower finishes, cut it off. If it's a single stalk, cut it all the way down and let the rest of it keep producing more flowers. When it's completely done, we'll talk about that. Don't cut off the foliage, but cut off the bloom stalks. So we'll get to that when the amaryllis get to that. So I'm hoping this quick, easy video, and I'll show you some other ones that I already have going that are starting to poke their heads up. Something else I just want to mention. Amaryllis are very top-heavy plants, okay? So when you do plant, pick a container, if it doesn't come pre-planted already, so a lot of them do, but pick a container that's heavy enough to support your bulb when it's got a stalk that's, you know, this high or whatever. The other thing you could do is you could put some moss around it if you want to, you know, just cover the dirt and make it a little bit, more decorative. It's totally up to you. But it's more important to worry about the container that you're using. Plant it deep enough, but still leave, I'm going to show you again, leave 1/3 of the bulb up, uncovered, and water lightly if your potting soil is not already really moist. Don't water it again, and just make sure your container is heavy enough to support the bulb. I hope this helps. Please. So just let's review. Amaryllis need heat to start growing, and then put them in the sun, rotate them like a quarter turn every few days to help keep them straight. Water them only when they're dry to avoid fungus gnats. Oh God, I'm having a problem with them already. 1/3 of the bulb needs to be above the soil line. Be careful if your pot doesn't have any drain holes. So they're very easy to grow, and they require no intervention from us. So plant them in good potting soil. If yours didn't come already potted up, put it in a warm location with bright indirect light till they start blooming, then move them to the sun. Rotate them periodically to keep, them standing straight. Otherwise, they really start leaning. And if you can support them, that's even better. They typically start blooming like 6 to 10 weeks after you plant them. They want to be in a pot that's not too large, just enough to hold the bulb. A heavier container is best since they get pretty top heavy. So if you want to preserve the bulb for next year, you're going to cut the stalk to like an inch of the top of the bulb, water and feed it regularly with like a liquid fertilizer. And then around mid-August, you're going to stop watering, let the foliage die back, let the soil dry out, and store the dormant bulb in a cool, dark, dry spot for at least 8 weeks. If you want it to rebloom for Christmas, repot the bulb in fresh soil about 2 months before, then place it again in a bright indirect light, water it lightly till you see some growth, and then we'll see if we can do this ourselves, and I'll show you what that looks like. Leave the shoulders and the neck exposed just like we did, when we first planted it. So I'll show you the ones that I got this year that I'm going to try to grow. So this is Flaming Amadeus. It's got fiery shades of deep pink and orange. I guess they look like flamingos, but they'll be a perfect pop in the winter. Really pretty container that it came in. So that should be really nice. It looks very like a pretty big, bold amaryllis. Because certainly if you're like me, you love these beautiful plants, you're going to want to try to save them until next year. And, after blooming, the bulb needs to rebuild itself. So this one is Aquaro. I've got 3 of these and planted these up. But I'm already having trouble with fungus gnats, and this happened to me last year with my amaryllis. I have a few plants in the house plants that are also having this issue. The sticky traps work, but it's not. I'm not sure what to do to get rid of the ones in the soil, and I'm very careful about not overwatering. I've been trying a few methods that I've heard, so we're just going to have to see. But that's a long slog. So a group that I bought last year and I bought this year also as gifts is the Nymph Collection, the Amaryllis Nymph Collection. And they came potted up in these really nice copper brushed and whitewashed little steel catch pots. There are 3 different varieties: the salmon pink brushed nymph, the winter white Arctic nymph, and the burnt orange exotic nymph. And you'll have really nice blooms for several weeks, and they're a really pretty double-petaled flower. Again, these make great gifts because they really are such low maintenance. So let me show you where I got them potted up. So here is Nymph, all potted. You can see it's already starting to grow. The growing tip is coming up, and then this is what it's going to look like when it starts blooming. That's salmon pink. This was really pretty last year. I absolutely loved it. And the other one's potted exactly the same is Exotic Nymph. And I bought these as gifts also. So I hope they're going to love them. So this is Magical Touch, and this is the last one we're going to look at. This is the last one I bought. This is the one I just potted up that I just showed you. It's a really pretty lightly ruffled petals with that bright cherry red with the white edges. The center is green and a white star. Oh, can't wait to see this. This was a huge bulb. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to put a link to a blog I wrote on Amaryllis down in the comments. So you might want to check that out on saving bulbs. It's very short and sweet.